Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. For 35 years, New Life has been transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Welcome to New Life Live. Really glad you're here today. And joining me, two guys that know their stuff. One, Chris Williams. Hey, Chris, how are you?
Good to be here with you guys.
Yeah, and Marc Cameron is in the studio.
I am. Hey, Steve. Hey, Chris.
Hey.
And hope all of you are having a great day today. We want to talk about addiction because the holidays, well, many times it is it's a time of relapse for people. And if you're not careful, and of course relapse is a result of not having the right kind of protection, right kind of defenses up, and the right kind of just moving forward. And so often, a little resentment here, a little bit of irritation there, and all of a sudden, we're in trouble. Now, Chris, you've studied with some of the best in sexual addiction, and what do you have to say for somebody trying to prevent relapsing during the holidays? What would be a good thing for them to keep in mind?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is this trick that addiction does to us, and that is in recovery, there's this phenomenon called euphoric recall, which is a fancy way to say that you can only remember the good things about your addiction, whether it be the drinking or the sexual acting out, whatever that is. And so it tries to trick you that if you want to have fun, if you want to enjoy life, you have to have this. So what we tend to forget is how miserable we made ourselves and everyone around us in the addiction. Yeah. And just this really, really clear focus that drinking, acting out, using whatever it is will not make this situation better. It will not improve the holiday season.
Well, and the glamorization of your addiction, like you're saying, when you think of drinking, you might think of that elegant champagne glass or whatever, but you're not really thinking about that night that you spent at the police station with a hole in the middle of the floor where everybody threw up who was drunk there in the tank with you. And then the next day having to call people to try to bail you out. You don't think of those things. You just think of the glamorous time. And, man, it is trouble. And like the sex addict doesn't think of all of these people that he or she are hurting, betraying. You just think of, changing the mood, you're entitled, all that kind of stuff. Marc, what are you thinking about this?
I love what you guys are saying here. So it's important to remember the pain that our addictions have caused, right? But without trying to go to your shame place.
That's exactly right.
And I think that's kind of the key. And so I think what I'd say to folks out there is also find strong support, right? You're going to need accountability because like what you were saying, euphoric memory, is that what you said?
Euphoric recall.
Recall, I love it, right? You're only thinking about the good times. And so you need to have that strong support, that accountability to help you when you do want to act out, right? To kind of keep you in check.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there's nothing better than to continue, if you're going to meetings, to go to meetings, and if not, start going to meetings. And people say, well, I did that. It wasn't that great. Well, go till it is that great. Go till you've got that meeting you really enjoy going to. I go to a meeting Saturday mornings, and I hate it if I ever have to miss that meeting. And in the beginning, the last thing I wanted to do was go to a meeting on Saturday morning. So, but when we can humble ourselves to admit there is this power that has a grip on us, then we can surrender to a higher power that nothing can have a grip on that God of ours who is all powerful. 1-800-229-3000 to join us.
We all have struggled with weight problems all our lives. This involves not only the health side of it, but the spiritual side of it.
If you're ready to begin a comprehensive plan that provides freedom in every area of your life, New Life's Lose It for Life online intensive can help. This online intensive features Zoom sessions presented by Steve Arterburn and Elena Al-Sharu on Saturday, January 27th, plus 4 small group process sessions facilitated by a credentialed New Life Network counselor.
Of all the things, the best part for me was the small group time.
If you're finally ready to stop going from diet to diet and begin a comprehensive plan that addresses the psychological, emotional, and spiritual aspects of a healthy lifestyle, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or go to newlife.com.
It is a life change. It is not a diet. It is not just a plan. It is a life change.
1-800-NEWLIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here. I've got some hints for you over the holidays. One is to be grateful. You know, there is a universe out there that's billions and billions of light years big, and we're the only place that has life, and you got one of them. You got a life. Isn't that great? And don't compare yourself to other people over the holidays. Just follow the calling that God has on your life. If you don't have a calling on your life, then find that calling. That'd be a great way to spend the holidays.
Or call us and we'll help you find that calling.
Well, yeah. Punch that button there and then we won't echo in everybody's ear either. And then here's the big one. No one thing fixes everything. And if you're looking for that one thing that's going to just change everything in your life, then you're going to be very, very disappointed. All right, let's go back. Let's talk to Claudia on the phone here, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. WFIL is the station. Hello, Claudia, and welcome to New Life Live. By the way, anybody else, 1-800-229-3000. Let's talk to Claudia. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Doing all right. What's going on in your life today?
I'm just really distraught. I'm going to try to not cry, but I have a son who has been suicidal for a while. He's 28. He has a wife and a toddler, and he lives with his wife's family. My son has bipolar, but he's also going through depression. But just to give you a little background, when he was little, I have bipolar myself, and it was a very chaotic childhood for him. I was depressed, lonely, going through voids of emotional ups and downs, and I had a mom that abused me, so I was just unstable. I was just really crazy.
Huh.
And he saw me worrying all the time. So now he's anxious, sad, lonely. He said he has a void in his life. He's insecure. He don't know how to set boundaries. It's just so many things, and I don't know what to do. I've been in counseling for 8 years, and I feel so much better, like a load lifted off of me from what I was going through, even though I'm taking medication for bipolar, and my son has just started taking medication for bipolar, and he's going through counseling. But how can I help him since I had such a chaotic upbringing, and he's going through the same thing? I just don't want him to emotionally medicate himself through addiction, through alcohol, because that's been the case in my family through my siblings.
So is that what he's doing? Is he drinking a lot?
Well, he's not drinking, but I don't want him to emotionally medicate. I mean, to medicate to help deal with the void and the pain, the sadness, the loneliness.
Yeah, but are you okay? So, but you bring up drinking. Does he have a drinking problem or not a drinking problem?
He don't have a drinking problem, but everyone that went through in my family what I'm going through has a drinking problem in my family. They have mental illness problems, and they're going through hurts from my mom.
And
So
how
I
old
don't
is your
wanna
son?
be-
How old is he? 28?
He's 27 or
27?
28. I'm sorry.
Okay, and
I'm
so,
sorry.
and why is it that he's living with his in-laws?
Financially, he had to stop his job because he was so depressed on the job that they put him in a hospital. And he can't afford to live by himself. But my son is just, he's like immature, and he shouldn't be married or have a baby, but it's too late now. But
And so when you talk with him, what are you saying to him when you talk with him?
Well, I want him to get his own place, but he seems to think that he's fine where he is because he don't know how to be a parent because his father was never there for him.
Okay, so but what messages are you giving him?
Well, I'm trying to give him positive messages, but to be honest with you, I haven't been doing good because I'm worried all the time. And
Yeah.
he sees it.
So that can have an impact right
makes him
there.
sad
So
because I cry all the time.
well,
and he's
you're
sad.
crying while you're talking with him on the phone?
Sometimes I do.
So, let's start with you, Marc. What are you thinking here about Claudia, the relationship with her son, the situation?
Yeah, this is a complicated one, Claudia. Because bipolar disorder, it's a mood disorder, so it's not something that we can just think our way out of. And so when an individual has bipolar disorder, it is it's very, very important that they are managed under the care of a psychiatrist, where they can get the medication correct to help balance out those mood swings. And so, stabilization, I think, for him right now probably is key, and I'm glad to hear that he's starting on medication right now. But I think what I like hearing you say is that you are recognizing how your parenting with him may have impacted him, right? And so the research shows us that as we learn how to, it's not necessarily what happened to us that predicts our outcomes, it's how we can make sense of it. And so it sounds like you've been in counseling and you're starting to learn to make sense of your childhood and how your upbringing impacted you. And I think probably what would be a good step would be to help your son make sense of his childhood and how your parenting and his absence of his father or his father's parenting, if he was in his life for a short amount of time, how that might have impacted him. So maybe even inviting him into a session with you to help him be able to kind of express how he's feeling, and for you to talk about things that you did, mistakes that owning mistakes and how that may have impacted him might help him also kind of make sense of his current situation.
Okay.
And Chris, you want to weigh in here, and then I've got a couple of comments.
Yeah, so Claudia, you provide the pathway for him in the sense of you did the right thing. When we look at efficacy, meaning what works for treating things like bipolar, including a traumatic past, we want to look at both the medical interventions, which you've done, which is a medication, and we want to look at the therapeutic interventions and get those things working together. And that, so getting into therapy and getting on medication are these two rails on the same train track heading in the right direction. And when we stop one or the other, it can easily disrail. And so helping him get into some good therapy, I think is really important. I know he could be really resistant to that, but you're providing the way. But a smaller, but I think bigger thing, if I can talk out of both sides of my mouth, is all of our symptoms are going to be heightened, exacerbated by anxiety. And so your work with your son is to be less anxious about a doom and gloom future. And just to be a little bit, and just to keep caring about his current situation. And this is for yourself as well, because you're carrying a lot of guilt and shame from your own struggles in parenting. And oftentimes when we do that, we're trying to rescue ourselves, our guilt, by helping the other person. But
Right.
what we want to be able to do is let go, to own our mistakes, but to seek forgiveness and the guilt, let go of the shame. But just, hey, I'm going to take this a day at a time. I'm going to love my son. I'm going to keep looking at what are the recommendations and interventions that we can do to help him get on the right course.
And really, I think, Claudia, you should consider when to talk with him and when not to talk with him. And when you're depressed and tearful and crying, that's not going to help him.
Okay.
In fact, he's going to probably feel like, oh, I should be taking care of Mom, but I'm so weak myself, I can't.
That's how he feels now. He feels
Well, see,
so anxious that he has to help me. Like he panics if something
Okay.
goes wrong with me.
So, Claudia, why would you call him and cry over the phone knowing that he panics at not being able to help you? Why would you do that?
Well, he looks so bad.
Okay, but Claudia, you have to monitor your own behavior, comments, and emotions if you want him to get better. And him feeling responsible for you feeling bad would mean you'd really want to be careful when and when not to call, right?
Okay.
So Claudia, you can feel that. Just what Steve is saying, you both feel bad about each other feeling bad.
Right.
Right? You cannot control whether he feels bad or not.
Right.
Right? So it's like, okay, what's happening inside of me that I need to continue to go to my therapist with and my support system with, so that, as Steve said, when I call him, I'm in a good place and I can let him be him and I'll let me be me.
Right.
Okay.
And Claudia, I'm going to be a little tough on you here, okay? But
Okay.
but the greatest hope for him is for him to be able to see you get better. See?
Okay.
But if he, knowing that you're aware of the things you're aware of, what you've been through, if he sees you out of control, crying, not really able to restrain some of the emotions, even talking with him, then he's going to feel very hopeless and helpless. But when you start to get better, and so if I were you, I'd want to really focus on what am I not doing to get better? What are you not doing to get better? What else do you need to get better? Have you thought about that?
Well, I wanted to go back into counseling again. I was in counseling, but I have stopped. But I want to go back to therapy again. Mm-hmm. And I'm taking medication for bipolar and depression.
Okay, so you're really going to need to have a good therapist to help you here, not just medication, okay?
Okay.
Then when you start to make progress and he feels that and sees it, I think he's going to feel better about himself and he's going to have some hope that he's probably not experiencing right now.
Right.
Okay? So I'm going to send you a copy of Emotional Freedom. I hope that that's going to help you. And I'm going to send you Healing is a Choice. And I think if you'd read those and your conversations would reflect the things in both of those books, then you're going to be of help to him. But don't call him when you're at risk for you just crying and being depressed over the phone with him, because that destroys his progress.
Okay.
Especially you saying that he feels responsible for you, okay?
Okay.
All right. And I hope something we've said here is helpful. And, maybe you're just listening and you heard this and you're thinking, you know what, I do the same thing. I'm concerned about somebody, and then I call and get upset, and then they feel like they need to take care of me. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. So if you're not getting enough help, you get more help so that you can inspire them to get the help that they need. All right, we'll take a break, then we'll come back and we'll talk with Charlie from Birmingham. Glad you called, Charlie. Here's what somebody said about listening to radio. I didn't have an example to look up to in trying to discover what it meant to be a man. But listening to the guys on New Life Live, I found role models of strength, honesty, sensitivity, and humor that I can learn from in my journey to become the man that God has for me. I love hearing that, of course. And all of you that support us here, you're supporting us helping other men become the men God called them to be. If you want to join us on the program, in between coughing, 1-800-229-3000. We'll be back after this.
For the first time in 2 years, I am free, and I can see God's plan for my life. In January, I got out of an emotionally, physically, and sexually abusive marriage. On October 12th, I was 8 months pregnant and went to a doctor's appointment, and they said that my daughter no longer had a heartbeat. I was very angry with God for the marriage that I was in, for the loss of my daughter. Last night, I surrendered my anger, my pain, my frustration, and my bitterness. And I feel for the first time this morning when I woke up that God has an amazing design for my life.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and this is the story of a new life. She took a step of faith, attended a workshop, and now has hope for her future. You can be part of offering hope to others as you step out in faith by donating to New Life Ministries.
To make your tax-deductible gift, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or text NLM to 28950. Chris Williams on coaching.
Oftentimes I get asked, what is the difference between therapy and coaching? The biggest difference between the two is that a therapist is going to be looking for a diagnosable mental health condition, whereas a coach is going to look at a particular issue and help a person work through that.
If you need a coach, call New Life today and ask about the New Life Coaching Network. Our coaches have been trained and screened with the same intensive process we use for our network counselors.
If you're looking at an issue in your life that you just kind of want to change, whether it be your weight or leadership or other areas of behavioral patterns, check out coaching. There can be some really, really helpful things for you.
Take control of your life and take action to achieve your goals. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 and talk to us about getting a New Life coach. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
10 years ago, I found myself in a horrible spot, trapped with sexual integrity issues and not having any way to resolve them. And I found New Life Ministries and Every Man's Battle, and from that, everything changed. Had I not found New Life, I doubt that I would have had another holiday with my family, let alone 10 more. And I'm blessed to still be married to my wife, with 3 kids and 7 grandchildren. And those blessings, every time that we celebrate the holidays, whether it be Thanksgiving or the Christmas holidays, are wonderful and special. So I am thankful for having found this ministry, Every Man's Battle, Intimacy in Marriage, and a number of other activities that we've done with this marvelous ministry. And I know that when I give to New Life, I feel very thankful for what they've done for me.
You know, I know who that testimony's from, and this man has served New Life, volunteered for New Life, supported us financially because of, well, you know, we provided an opportunity. He made the decision. He's the one that chose to get better. And when I get a Christmas card from him and all the grandkids and kids are all there together, it's just one of the greatest feelings ever. Now, you may be one of those folks that you don't have all the kids and grandkids together at Christmas, but you could next year if you decide to get the help that you need. And in January, we've got an Every Man's Battle coming up, and I just hope and pray that you would go. But also, anybody that supports us, you're supporting that kind of recovery. And we can't do it without you. We have a $200,000 matching fund. So when you text MATCH to 28950, tell them how much you want to give, you're supporting this ministry and supporting transformation like you just heard about. And it is so rewarding to get to be part of this. 35 years of helping people transform their lives and getting to work with people like Marc and Chris. I mean, that's the joy here. All of the PhDs and the master's level clinical Christian counselors that have come our way have been a true joy. And I hope and pray you'll continue to support us. You can call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You can go to newlife.com or text the word MATCH to 28950 and support us. Please do. We would be so grateful if you did. Well, let's go to Charlie. He has called us at 1-800-229-3000, Birmingham, Illinois. Hey, Charlie, how are you?
Good. How are you? It's Bloomington, Illinois.
Oh, Bloomington, Illinois. Sorry about that.
It's okay. How you guys doing?
We're all right today. What's on your mind?
Well, I don't know. I will try to explain myself as best as I can.
Okay.
I have a problem with anger. When I get really angry, like I get like rage, and it's causing a lot of problems between in my marriage, especially in the last 5 years. But this year, from August to November of this year, it got really bad that, my wife times that she had to leave the house because I was so mad and started breaking things. To the point that she had to put it, like, I call it order of protection, or restriction order against me.
Okay.
So she filed for that on November 7th. So I wasn't, being able to stay at the house since then.
Yeah.
So Charlie, your anger is causing a lot of problems and pain in your family, right?
Yes.
Okay. And has this been a recent problem, or does this go way back?
For the last 5 years, I know it was like, I get a lot of times I just left the house, just trying to avoid, more conflict.
Okay. So let me ask you this. What losses have you experienced in your life? What significant losses?
My dad.
Your dog? Okay. Is that right?
No.
His
my
dad.
Oh, your dad. Your dad. Okay. How long ago was that?
About 9 years now.
Okay.
Actually, and another thing that happened to me was, it's been a long time ago, when I was about 6 or 7, one of my cousins, I didn't have any idea, he kind of sexual abuse me.
Yeah, you experienced sexual abuse, right?
Yes.
So
that's been like.
So Charlie, you hear the music right now, but I'm going to sum a couple things up for you, because a lot of times our pain or hurt and losses, because they feel out of control, especially in men, but this can happen to anyone, flip to anger. Anger feels in control, where our hurt and sadness feel out of control. The most ironic thing is that they behave exactly opposite. Hurt and sadness are actually in control. Anger is out of control. And so what I want you to be able to think about is, what is the hurt and the sadness that I still carry inside of me that's unresolved, that I've turned into anger that is what we call blackout anger and that rage. And we'll come back to that right after this break.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, and before we go back to Charlie, let me remind everybody that here at New Life, we honor early. And we do all these early birdie specials on our workshops. The earlier you sign up, the better the discount. And, we've got our alumni involved with our workshops, and they get special privileges, and we have scholarships, many of the scholarships provided by alumni. But coming up, Every Man's Battles, January the 12th, and Lose It for Life, that's online, January the 27th. That's going to be wonderful. Intimacy in Marriage is February 16th, and then Restore, February 23rd. Emotional Freedom, that's online, March the 16th. Look at all those in the first quarter of this next year. So many opportunities for transformation. Right now, we want to help Charlie transform some of his anger into something better. Chris, go ahead and work with Charlie here.
So, Charlie, as we're going to the break, was asking about, how those feelings of sadness or hurt can transform themselves into anger. Did that resonate with you?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to need a healing process. And I'm going to introduce one more emotion that's really, really important. Most likely, your anger goes that quickly through fear. And you're going to need to ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? And it's really, what am I afraid of about myself? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Because what I did a lot of times, like I said, just walking out of the house, talking. Now I come to realize, I've been reading a lot of stuff about it. And actually, I did call last Friday and talk to somebody. And he sent me some links. Well, I called about the Every Man's Battle, asking what it was, but they told me it was a different thing. So I kind of explained what it was going through, and they, sent me some links and stuff. Actually, yesterday I got to it, and I took the quiz. As I was going through looking to the emotional.
Yeah, emotional freedom.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I took the quiz, and they actually got the ebook, about, the emotionals, and I read through it.
Well, let me jump in, because I definitely want you going to Emotional Freedom but it's not till March, or I should say, and it's in March. So you want to sign up for that.
Okay.
In the meantime, you don't want to wait till March to deal with this.
No, actually, like I said earlier, I was so frustrated, I'm just going to try to go back a little bit. Actually, because I was so, after, the first order of protection or restriction, we went to court.
Mm-hmm.
After we find a lawyer, I find out that my wife, because of all these issues, she filed for a divorce. And actually, I'm going for court tomorrow for that. But another thing happened.
Let's jump in here, because we want to give you some solution here.
Yeah, okay. You're in a difficult situation here, Charlie, and I think for you, probably the number one thing to focus on, because there's probably a lot that's going to be out of your control with the court situation, is just to focus on your healing, your restoration. So you shared something pretty vulnerable with us, which I appreciate, and you shared with us that there was some sexual abuse that you went through when you were younger. And so, I don't think that, and hang with me for a second here, that anger is the problem, right? Because anger is adaptive, right? I think it's the expression of anger and how quickly you're going that you can't control it. That's what the problem is, right? Something bad happened to you. And so the adaptive thing for you that you've learned is, I don't want that bad thing to happen to me again. So if I get angry, if I can be the one who's in control, if I can be the one who's scarier, then that will end up protecting me, right? And so that's kind of an adaptive response in that respect. But where anger gets to be non-adaptive is when we use anger to hurt others or hurt ourselves rather than protect others and protect ourselves. And so I think as you look to the wound and you heal the wound, what you'll discover is you won't have the need for the anger to protect yourself, because what's happening is you're perceiving that there's this threat, and so you're going so quickly to the anger. Sometimes what folks need too, as they work through this recovery process, is sometimes medication can help too, right? Because what that does is that can just kind of help take the edge off the escalation while you learn how to do some of the recovery work. What have been some things that you've tried, Charlie?
Just recently, like I said before, is just walking out of the house, just kind of take a drive or just take a short walk. But recently, I went between November 7th all the way to now, and I'm gonna share something else because between all this time that I haven't been at home, I've been reading a lot of things, and, anger and just looking up. And then I got so sad and depressed, because I couldn't find any, like counselors or anything like that. On December 6th, I was talking to my wife for a little bit, and I thought, I told her, I said, I can't take this anymore. And I kind of thought about, suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
But then on December 8th, I was really in a bad moment, I'm sorry, that, feel so depressed. I don't know, I can't really, depression.
Well, Charlie, here's what we're going to do. You stay on the line, and we're going to connect you with a therapist in your area. And here's actually one of the really positive things that came out of our time of COVID, is that for us therapists, we got a lot better at doing virtual sessions. And so the entire state of Illinois is open to you. And I would, and wherever they connect you, it'd be great. I would really highly suggest a strong, good male therapist to help you work through both the trauma and the loss that you are carrying on the inside and the hurt that you're carrying. Because obviously we don't want your wife or your son or anyone else to suffer, but we don't want you to suffer anymore.
Right. Someone who is capable of containing and holding your anger. Because I think, Charlie, you have a right to be angry about what's happened to you. but it's being able to express that and get out that hurt in the right place with somebody who can hold it. And so I think that's what Chris is saying. Yeah. Find that, let us help you find that person that you can kind of process those things through. And then the other thing too, you're talking about depression. Often, especially for men, the depression it comes out as anger. Yes. So that's probably another additional factor that's kind of increasing the anger for you right now.
And Charlie, one more thing. I've seen anger usually drive a guy into pornography or lust or some kind of sexual integrity problem. Now, if that's the case here, if you'll get involved in a life recovery group, we can connect you with that, or Sex Addicts Anonymous group, you're not going to find yourself, I don't think, you're going to find yourself at a point of suicide or deep depression, because you're going to have other guys struggling the way you've struggled. Some are way far ahead, and they can give you encouragement and guidance, and others are behind you, and you can help them, or in seeing where they are, you can see that you've made progress. But the connection with other men is a key here. You need a good therapist, and we're going to try to get that for you. But you need men. You need connection with men. You need a sponsor that you could talk to every day, and you can turn this around. I mean, you can turn it around so much so that your wife wouldn't do anything but wait or change her mind because she'd see a different Charlie there. But if you decide, I'm just going to continue to do this on my own, I'm going to continue to be isolated, lonely, then there's going to be despair, and you're going to do crummy stuff and feel crummy ways in that despair. You don't have to. That's the joy of, and that is the greatness of 12-step groups. And there's a group that you can go to. And we have life recovery groups everywhere. And you call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We'll connect you with a life recovery group. Or you can start one. I've just finished a whole institute for Indiana Wesleyan University where you can be trained as a mentor and a coach and a recovery pastor. And that'll open up this next year. But the goal is to get people connected with other healthy people. And if you're not, that's where hope can be. We'll be back.
We all face days where life throws us a curveball and our routines or plans get disrupted. Things we wanted to do are forced to take a backseat to the unexpected demands of the day. If you normally listen to New Life Live on a radio station, well, you might not be able to that day. And on these hectic days when you're feeling stressed or frazzled, hearing the sound of counsel given on New Life Live is just what you need to navigate the unexpected things of life.
Every time I'm troubled or I have a problem, I'll cut on New Life, and there's always something that is said that is helpful to me.
By listening, I have learned more than I can ever express about how God wants me to live.
Download the New Life app for the easiest way to listen wherever you are and at a time that's convenient for you, or watch the show on our YouTube channel. You can even subscribe to our podcast from your favorite podcast provider. You never have to miss a day of New Life. Wherever you are, we are.
I've been listening to New Life for many years, gone to a few workshops. I want to support a ministry that helps people connect with God and with others and gives them the tools to help transform their lives.
You can help New Life Live stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of all 8 100-day devotionals, including 100 Days of Healing, 100 Days from Freedom from Shame, and 100 Days of Freedom from Anger. There are also ongoing benefits like the monthly Club New Life CD or download, access to the Club New Life video library, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, discounts on workshops, and quarterly online meetings with Steve. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Steve Arterburn here with Chris Williams, Marc Cameron, and your calls. If you want to join us in the next hour, 1-800-229-3000. Right now we're going to go to Lynn, Grand Rapids, Michigan, WSNL. Hi, Lynn. How are you today?
Hi. Thank you for taking my call. A little bit under the weather, but hanging in there, hoping to get over it.
What's going on?
Well, 10 months ago, I discovered my husband had a 5-year ongoing porn addiction.
Okay.
And it was shocking. I had no clue, no idea. But he was shocked that I found out because, he thought it was very secretive. And I was shocked that it took me as long to find it and, of course, hurt and everything. And he's asked forgiveness and said he would never do it again. And he talked to the counselor a couple of times.
What's he doing to get better?
He just said he turned himself over to God, asked for forgiveness for that because he is a believer, a Christian, and asked for my forgiveness, and that he felt the Lord forgave him and has set him on a new course to be a better man, a good man, an honest man, a better husband. And he's been trying. I do see him trying. And he says he has lost all desire. He has not once felt the need or the want to view it, find it, even secretly open, and nothing.
Are you looking at his phone?
I do, and I've seen nothing, and
good.
Nothing on his emails. But my trouble, and I did. It took me a month, but I prayed about it myself, and I did forgive him. I told him I forgive him. I knew I was supposed to. I knew I should. I knew I couldn't begin healing for myself of this. But I can't stand to be intimate with him. I can't stand for him to touch me or kiss me. I just hold my breath. I look at him, and I still see him doing that, and part of it makes me wonder because I asked him, was he sorry he got caught and found out? And he admitted he did, and that I said, well, he enjoyed it and he misses it, but that life of him, that man of him, is no more.
Yeah.
I want to believe him because he just.
Lynn,
I don't know if he's all the right things or what.
Lynn, what has he done about it? I understand that he's saying that he's confessing and he's asking for forgiveness and he's saying that all desire is gone. But has he done something? Is he doing something? Is he working a recovery program, or is he just saying that since he's confessed, all desire is just dissipated?
No. Yes, he did. When he fell to his knees, he said and asked forgiveness, and that he did feel released from that sin, from his asking forgiveness, and that he knew he would have to have a lifetime of proving it to me and becoming the better man. He swears he has not desired it at all.
Is he working a recovery program, Lynn? That's my question.
No.
Okay. So
I
would be highly skeptical. Right, because he's been very good at hiding this for 5 years, right? And so his number one commitment has been to his addiction, not to you. So I would be highly skeptical of somebody that when they're caught in discovery, they just say all the right things and then they say that their addiction has gone away. And even if he truly believes that, I have concern for him.
Yes.
Right? He really needs to be working some kind of program to prove to you that he's holding himself accountable. And quite frankly, I think your anger is justified. And it's part of the recovery process is that you are allowed to be angry and that he has to learn how to hold your anger.
Right. Yeah. It's not fair and it's not sensitive to you for him to say, okay, now instantly I have character, I have I don't need anybody. Chris, this is your area.
My heart's broken for you, Lynn, because I wish he didn't have this just taken away from him. Because in that way, he's never addressed the actual problem. Porn
Well,
is
he has
porn.
his
Lynn,
counselor, and I
listen
did
to
get a
me.
book.
Lynn, listen to me. Porn is the problematic behavior that he used to cover the problem. Recovery allows us to remove the problematic behavior and address the problem. And so there is a problem. There is a real crisis in your marriage that is remaining unaddressed because he is saying that he's sober. And I'm like, let's say he is. The problem is still there. It hasn't gone away. And I think your anger and your frustration and your sadness is a clear indication, because pornography is really an intimacy disorder, an inability to be close. And so just not doing the porn doesn't make you have the ability to be close to another person.
And the fact that you have a hard time even allowing him to touch you says there's work to be done on his part, because he should know that it's hard for you to be touched by him. And I think that's normal, that you would say, don't touch me right now. And forgiveness isn't...
How long will it be for recovery? And I'm like, I don't know. It could be 5 years. I don't know. I can't trust him, and that.
Well, right. Okay, look at all the things you're saying. That all the things you're saying point to he needs more of a recovery plan and program.
And Lynn, you need more as well. You need a lot more.
Well, and that's the reason why you don't trust him, because he's not demonstrating that he's safe.
Yeah.
And so it's adaptive. I think you trust your instincts here, Lynn.
So what I would do, well, let us connect you, first of all, with our Restore workshop that's coming up. Want you to go to that. But in the meantime, we need to help him see what he needs to put together. He needs to be going to a group every week, at least once a week, maybe twice. He needs a counselor that specializes in this. Otherwise, he's kind of a ticking time bomb, and there you sit. You can't trust him. You don't believe him, but you're saying you forgave him. Well, there's a lot of grief that needs to go on, grieving on your part. There's a lot of acceptance that needs to take place before that forgiveness results in any kind of reconciliation. Forgiving somebody doesn't mean that we accept them back as a whole human being with no problem that continues to need to be addressed. So I hope that we can get you involved in a recovery program that will inspire you to inspire him. And I'll send you Sherry Keffer's book, Intimate Deception. I think that's going to be a big help to you. Well, we're almost out of time. If you want to join us on the next program, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now, I want you to help us, if you possibly can, here at year end, and we have a matching fund. But let's just say that you realize that you need a good Bible for this next year. We've got the 1-year Bible for men, 1-year Bible for women. We've got every man's Bible. Every woman's Bible comes out in April. But this is the foundation of what we do here. It's true truth right out of Scripture. And so if you're not spending time in Scripture, now's the time to start here at a brand new year. And we'll help you. We've got the tools to help you do that if you'll call us. But you could just say, I want to make this gift to you, and I want one of the Bibles as a thank you, and we'll thank you with that Bible. All you have to do is call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com. Well, thank you, Chris, and thank you, Mark, all of you. 1-800-229-3000 to join us for the next hour.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Thanks for watching today. We love helping people. I hope you sense that. And we know that there's always hope if you find the right resource. Now, if something we've said to somebody else applies to you, that's fantastic. That's what we're hoping for. But also, if you want to join us directly, you can call 1-800-229-3000 between 1 and 3 Eastern Time, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. Those are the best times to get through. And while you're here on YouTube, check out these other videos that we've done to help people see where they could grow or a different path to take. And if you do that, would you give us a thumbs up on the video, and please subscribe to this channel. There are many ways that we can help you outside of the radio program, and it's very hard for some to pick up a phone and dial 1-800-NEW-LIFE, but when you do, we put you in touch with somebody who cares about you, knows all the resources out there, and they're going to find the best for you. There is no reason to struggle alone. I hope to see you tomorrow. Hope you'll invite somebody else to come and join that maybe needs just a little bit of help along the way. I'll see you next time.